What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. The stock market is literally going crazy. If we take a look at the SPY's chart today, the market tanked down right at open and exploded right back up and broke all-time highs. We have a lot to talk about with just the market overall, what's going on with this Taliban catalyst, and then also we have some pretty big news from Michael Burry. Overall, we have some great plays, so make sure you stick around to the end. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. A lot of you aren't. Don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty big piece of information that we've been waiting for quite a while now. And I remember a few months ago, everybody was talking about how Michael Burry was short Tesla. And it apparently comes out today that not only is he short Tesla, apparently he took a new wager now against Kathy Woods' ARK Invest, specifically the ARK Innovation ETF, which is the biggest one, like ARKK, which has some of the better stocks in there. But he's also betting against Tesla and even added to that position, which is huge to hear. Tesla actually fell below $700 today also. But man, this news with Burry is getting absolutely insane. Apparently, they reported that Scion Asset Management held bearish put options on nearly 1.1 million shares of Tesla, worth $731 million at the end of June, an increase from its puts on 800,000 shares 3 months earlier. So looks like they added about 200,000 shares or more puts on at least 200,000 shares. So that's a good thing to hear. And just looking at it, you can see Tesla really fell off today. And man, they've been below this long-term blue trend line on my chart for quite a while now. The technicals are not lining up for Tesla to the upside right now. And man, this news is just terrible to hear that he's still bearish on them, taking new positions out against Kathy Wood. I mean, man, it's kind of crazy to hear that. Who knows? Maybe we'll be in for a market downturn, especially with all these weird catalysts going on.
True that. So for those of you who don't know who Michael Burry is, he was one of the, I guess you can say, geniuses, or one of the top investors who called the 2008 housing crash slash crisis. So he has a lot of he's very intelligent and he has a pretty good reputation. And of course, he's not always right, but when he speaks, it's always good to pay attention to it. So that's huge news. And obviously, it's not good for Tesla or this ARK fund. So definitely be on the lookout there. And then, Tom, I know that, the market has been kind of whack, you can say, with this Taliban news. What's going on?
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy because the market sold off this morning and now the SPY hit new highs, which was honestly uncalled for. I never thought we'd see all-time highs on the SPY after what we saw going on earlier this morning. But man, this Taliban news is getting rapidly accelerated through the news and everything. President Biden's actually speaking today about the subject at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, which should be going on right now. But who knows? Maybe he's a little late. Maybe it's on TV or something. But we'll definitely hear about what he said later on tonight. So keep that out in the news as well. But man, this news is getting crazy. Apparently, the Taliban actually got into Kabul. They actually overtook the city. They actually overtook the presidential palace, even though vastly outnumbered apparently by CNBC. But it's just a crazy situation right now. Bad stuff going on in the Middle East, and with the United States and almost just Afghanistan losing ground in Afghanistan. It's just a bad thing to see. It's going to show probably that over the next couple of years, the Taliban is obviously going to have probably a pretty big role in the news and in the markets and everything. So just keep that in the back of your heads. There might be some black swan events go on. We might try to retaliate. No idea yet. We'll have to see what Biden says. But in the end, I know a lot of people, they kind of want to get out of there anyways. A lot of people want to stay. There's definitely a lot of mixed opinions. So we're not going to get too far into the subject, but it could definitely affect the markets. And I would say this morning, Mike, a lot of this sell-off was probably caused by a lot of this news that happened at this airport and stuff. There was some people that died and stuff like that. So it's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's truly an unfortunate situation, and I'm just hoping everything gets resolved pretty quickly. So it's definitely unfortunate, and it's definitely important to pay attention to just this whole situation over the next couple weeks and the next couple months. But Tom, let's get right into our member of the day. Today's member of the day is Dawn. Huge shout out, Dawn. Thanks for leaving a bunch of great comments on the YouTube videos and for always asking great questions. For those of you who don't know, comments really help grow our channel. So thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you so much, Dawn. Huge shout out to you. But then let's get right into these momentum plays, Tom. And with the first one, we have Apple to the upside.
Yeah, and Apple's actually been really killing it, Mike. I cannot believe that they broke out to new highs again today, but make them break out above 151. You could say 30, which was the high of today. If they break that, then say 150, 150. But man, this move out to all-time highs was insane. And man, they had a really up and down day.
All right. And then with the next one, we have Facebook also to the upside.
Yep, go ahead and make this one break out above 367. I think that'll be the way to go.
All right. And with the last one, we have Redfin to the downside.
Yeah, RDFN just selling off today, but make them fall below $49 even.
All right, so we are watching Apple and Facebook for potential plays to the upside, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. We are watching Redfin for a potential day trade to the downside, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But Tom, let's get right into the unusual options activity for this week. We are looking at the Roblox 85 strike calls that expired this Friday, and there was around $2.6 million put into this play. Roblox is down over 5% today. It's down a little bit in after hours as well. I know that they have earnings very soon. So I'm just going to be neutral on this one. I feel like it's way too hard to judge, especially with earnings going on. So I'm just going to say neutral, but it's definitely an interesting trade to say the least.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, look at this. The market actually just closed and Roblox is kind of going haywire here in after hours with these earnings. I mean, I would think that they would be like a covered call or something like that, Mike, where they're shorting these calls, just given that it's pretty far out of the money and way above like the high of day even today. But man, just looking at it, I would think that they'd be shorting that, but really hard to say with earnings. Maybe they know something that we don't. And if we see Roblox start to fly up after earnings, I would think that they definitely knew something.
For sure. So before we get into the comments, I just want to talk more about just like general market opportunities. Like I know NIO stock is down pretty big today. They're down like 6% or so. IV starting to creep up. So I was really looking at like shorting some NEO puts, shorting some Redfin puts, and just a couple other like growth stock plays, maybe PENN, and maybe even like Boeing's not necessarily a growth stock, but I still like it at these levels.
Yeah, there could be a lot of growth with Boeing over the next year or two, which is awesome for them. Big upside potential. Like if Boeing gets up to that pre-pandemic, any type of pre-pandemic level, like up above $300, you're talking about a good solid like 35% gain. So that's a good move out of Boeing there. I actually am really looking at these stocks, like some of these EV stocks like CHPT, BLNK, some of those. I know that if they're in setups very similar to like Enphase and like some of these other like growth stocks that have been kind of falling down lately, kind of like Redfin and just a couple others, but those are the ones I'm looking at. And man, Mike, I know a lot of people were looking at like Airbnb over the past few days with those good earnings, and man, they're still having problems getting up there. They had those good earnings. They tried to break out to the upside, and man, we've been just waiting for them to get a solid breakout above like 155, and it's just not coming for Airbnb. But I think they'll eventually break out of this little channel that they're in here. But man, it's going to take a while, it looks like.
All right, so let's get right into the comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Dawn saying, "Hey, Mike and Tom, VACQ merger with Rocket Lab this Friday." I definitely watch for that. So VACQ, it's like another space stock. So yeah, I mean it's definitely, so it's a SPAC, but hopefully it pops up. It looks like there is like a little support at $10, but I'll definitely keep it on my radar.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. And thank you. I'll definitely have to do some more research on this company. And who knows, we might talk about it like later on in the week if that like news ends up being pretty big.
There we go. And then we have Brian saying, "Thanks, guys. I'm in LTHM, watching it for a pullback to add to my position. Thanks for touching on this one. I'm in complete agreement, watching to get a possible deal at $24 or less." So it's down like a little over 5% today. Looking at the max weekly, it's not looking bad at all. And 24 is definitely pretty big support to watch for. After that, the next support I see is like right around 22.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be volatile though. It's been a pretty like crazy stock though, but I like how it's had a lot of upside, a lot of upside moves over the past couple of years. You know, it's just had a lot of good momentum, and I'm glad it's finally breaking out now. I would say definitely watch that $24 support. That's definitely going to be like the short term level to look for. For the longer term, I think I'd like to get in a little bit lower, but it still looks pretty good.
Sounds good. And then we have TC saying, great video, guys. And then they asked about TTD. So TTD is down around 2.5% today. Their max weekly looks pretty good. They've been growing a lot over like the past couple years. They have a pretty big support right at 50. And they are making lower highs, which is not good to see. But they're also making a lot of higher lows, which is good to see. So honestly, I'd probably sell some puts on this one. Maybe if it retested like 65 to $70. I'm not necessarily like super bullish or bearish on it. I'm just gonna like kind of like set an alert maybe at like $70 or so, and if it touches it, I'll probably sell some puts.
Yeah, that's actually a really good support down there, right around 70. I think that's a really good level to look for. At the upper end of the channel, I'd look at like $90. So I like it either way. I think it could end up being good for the long term. For the short term, I'm just 50-50 on it. It can obviously go either way. I think that $90 resistance might be holding up is a pretty good level over the past like few weeks. So definitely look for it to possibly move back down, but I'll definitely be looking for it at $70 with you, Mike.
All right. And then we have CALR saying a crash is coming. Buy AMC to get the short squeeze going. All right, let's take a look at AMC. I know that the hype has died down a lot over the past couple weeks, but it had a decent day today, up a little under 7%. I mean, it had a decent day. It's bouncing off that $30 support. The next major resistance I see is right around 40.
Yeah, I see that too. And I'll tell you what, I don't think that this looks too bad right now. You know, we hit the $30 support. I know lots of people have been loading up on it. We kind of hit right off that 100 SMA on the daily chart too. So not looking too bad, I don't think, for AMC just for like the next couple days. If we see another breakout above the high of today, like if we see a solid move above 36.20, I think that it could be a solid day trade opportunity for AMC. I don't think holding AMC for the long term is good by any means, though, for anyone who's doing that. But I will say though, the setup here off of $30 is not bad. And I've actually had a few people like talk to me about this, and it's been I hope it goes well for him, but it's just not the stock for me still. But I hope it ends up going up. It seems like a pretty decent bounce here.
All right, and then we have Mangoes asking about Disney. So Disney's down around 1% today. It's kind of just like holding its ground. They had some pretty good earnings, but they fell right off. Like they were like right around 190, and they just totally fell off the board. So they're not looking bad. It's just, in my opinion, it's just more of like a longer term play.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Just look at them in a longer term sense. In the short term, anything can go on. They just had those great earnings where they flew up, and then it just had that unfortunate move back down. Sometimes that happens with earnings, and it might just take a couple more weeks for it to kind of pop up. So that's exactly why though, why, it's always good to get time on options and stuff, because then, you can just you can continue to hold during these small little downturns like this and not have to take a quick loss or anything crazy.
All right, and then guys, don't forget, if you want to trade with Tom, myself, and our bots, click that first link in the description down below. We have daily option swing trades, day trades, order flow bots, a ton of custom things. It's that first link in the description down below. We've been pretty hot lately. The bots have been doing pretty well. We had a great week last week, especially with the swing trades. We banked off of UPST, and with all of this volatility that we're expected to have this week, it should be great for us. So like I said, you can cancel at any time. It's that first link in the description down below. You could talk with Tom and myself basically all day long and get daily trades. That first link in the description down below. But Tom, what stocks are you watching heading into tomorrow?
I'm really going to have my eyes on CLOV, and this is going to probably surprise a lot of people. It's usually not my favorite stock in the world, but they came down today at open, bounced right off of that $8 support, came right back up. So maybe we'll be able to hold this $8 support and get another move back to the upside. I think that would be really good for CLOV. And just if we end up holding the support, it would be amazing for the stock overall. So I'll really be watching that. I'm also going to be watching the VXX really hard over the next few days. It did have a nice pop this morning as the SPY started to fall. And with all this Afghanistan and weird news going on, I could definitely see the VIX popping up if the market starts to get a lot of volatility come into it. So definitely have my eyes on that. And then also watching gold, which is you could use as ticker symbol GLD if you just want to grab a stock or something like an ETF of gold. But I will say though, GLD had a great day today on its own as well, moving back up, and we're getting back up towards this range around 170. It's been really interesting for gold for the past month. So with all this news, I think it'll definitely affect gold as well.
There we go. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We post brand new videos every single day. And yeah, a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. So don't forget to subscribe. Brand new videos every single day. And if you want to trade with Tom and I live every single morning at market open, you can subscribe to the Stocked Up Live YouTube channel. The link for that is in the description down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.